David again brought together out of Israel those 30,000. And they go to get the ark from Abinadab's house. Okay? So it's been at Abinadab's house. And so they go and get it, and they put it on a cart. Well, wait a minute. I thought if the Levites could touch it, they couldn't touch it, right? And if it was to be moved, it was supposed to be on a pole. Okay, what's going to happen here? They put it on a cart? It sounds like what the Philistines would do. So they put it on a new cart, and they bring it from the house of Abinadab, which was on the hill. Why in the world would they put on a hill? Why is that important? Well, you're going to see. Because when it's going down the hill now, through the rocks and stuff, the oxen kind of stumble, and guess what the cart does? The cart tips. And so, look at this. Abinadab's sons, named Uzzah and Ahio. You owe me that I didn't name you Ahio. You owe me, Nate. All right. They were guiding the new cart with the Ark of God on it, and Ahio was walking in front. So Uzzah is like he's the driver, okay? And Ahio is out in front. He's kind of piloting the way. Okay, turn here, move over just a little. And so they're working this tag team thing, how to get the ark down off of Abinadab's hill, down where they're supposed to be. And they hit a rock, and something happens, and it begins to tip. Now, remember, no one is to touch the Ark of God. Okay? So when it does, when it hits this rock or whatever, and it begins to tumble, they naturally, like any of us would do, they just naturally stretch out their hand to try to hold it where it is so it wouldn't fall. And as soon as they touched it, it was like when I was a kid. My mom took us to this place, and we were out playing, and we were playing on this. It was a pen. I think y'all call it corral. It was a pen where they had these animals and stuff, and we were jumping up and down on the fence, and I saw this wire going across. And I thought, oh, cool. And I was all boy. Trust me, I was all boy. I thought, I'm going to swing. Matt, listen. Look, Matt, Dwayne's boy Matt just loves Superman. It was like I was Superman, Matt. And I grabbed this wire, and I'm going to swing down into this thing. And it was an electric wire. It was crazy. That's kind of like what happened. They reached up and touched the cart, and it's like this electric thing, and they dropped dead. What? What's the harm in that? Goodness grief, I would have done that too. I don't want it to fall. But here's the deal. It was natural. It was like almost commendable for what they did. Any careful wagoner would have done the same thing. That's the point. He saw no difference between the ark and any other thing. No difference between the holy and the common. See, all of his life, remember, this had been in this guy's house. It had been in Abinadab's house for all of these years, and they had grown up around it. It's like, hey, move that piece of furniture out of the way, and they trip over it, and they do all these things. It had just become common to them. They'd become familiar. Familiarity had its usual effect. This irreverent habit of treating holiness as something common. There is nothing more delicate than a sense of awe. I have to live my life guarding this thing in my life, where this sense of awe at the things of God. Listen, Terry says, okay, you tell too many stories about us. This isn't a story, but listen, here's the deal. And I don't want you to think I'm all that. I don't. I see her. And I go, God, thank you. And there's this sense of awe. And so I treat her out of that place of this sense of awe. Does that make sense? And I treat my children from this place of this sense of awe. Like, wow, I'm a steward. I'm responsible. God, wow. Oh, Lord, that you would give them to me. Oh, God, this is more. This is more than I can. Oh, Lord, I give them to you. Make them, God, into what you want them to be. And all of a sudden, now they're not just my kids. They're these children of promise and purpose and destiny. Does that make sense? And I treat my friend with this sense of awe. Go, God, I want to be a man in his life that he can lean on and trust. And I want to pray. I want to give my life to intercede and to bless and get up beside and encourage and go, Gary, come on. Do you understand that? That this sense of awe is this delicate thing that we got to be careful with. It's not like just this, that's in the way, get it out of here and whatever. We got to begin to learn how to live life with awe. Okay. Trifled with, messed with, this sense of awe, if you just mess with it just a little bit, it quickly disappears. And so now, David sees all this happen. He's scared. He's confused. You can read all of this for yourself, okay? This is a different kind of sermon, I know. He's scared and confused. And so, what am I going to do with this? And so he takes it to another guy's house. Here, I don't know what to do with this yet. He takes it to Obed-Edom. He said, okay, Obed, take care of this. I'll be back. And so he's trying to figure out this. He's confused now. It's like, wait a minute. I mean, I thought I was doing a good thing, and now he dies, and he's afraid of God. So it stays at this house, and this is interesting. The Bible says it was there for 3 months, and in that 3 months' time, guess what happened at Obed? Everything around Obed-Edom, God was blessing. Listen, that's the presence of God. You want to be blessed? Get in His presence, because in His presence, all of this stuff happens. Man, God's just not good. Really? Where are you with Him? Now, I'm not saying you earn it. Terry and I had this incredible conversation late last night about, it's like where we grew up, not geographically where, but just, we grew up with this, and I don't even know if it was preached or whatever where it came from, but this sense of works. It's like you got to earn it. You got to do this, and it's this drudgery, it's like, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this to earn God's favor, and I got to do this for God to love me, and I got to do this, and we're just running ourselves absolutely crazy to earn something what we already have. And when we do this, you know what we're doing? We've gotten so far out in front of God. We think, well, I'm behind God, I got to catch up. No, you're not. You're out in front of Him. And how is He ever going to catch up unless you stop? Renee Powell, stop. We had a conversation. It's funny because she had said, "Were you looking in our house last night?" No, I'm playing. Too busy. Yeah, I was too busy. I didn't slow down long enough. But Renee had this conversation with me this morning, right here by this pole, and she said, "Man, here's what God's doing." I'm going, "Wait till you hear this verse." And isn't it funny? Some of us are in the same place. Isn't that? It's just God is just bringing us to the same place to go. Listen, stop, Tony. Take 3 weeks off from Wednesday night. We talked about that in Deacons. There's going to be a 3-week period where Wednesdays we're just off. There's not, So, okay, stop. Listen, stop and go, God, let your presence catch up with me. I don't want another step without you. We think, wait a minute. I thought I'd been doing good stuff. Remember Mary and Martha? Jesus, look, make her get up. I'm doing everything, and she's just sitting there. Remember, Jesus goes, she's chosen the better part. Okay. So, David is scared and confused. He takes it to Obed-Edom. And Obed, he didn't have idols. There was none of this stuff. He just welcomed it in. And he had feared and served the God of the ark and the presence. And so there's this unbelievable blessing around him and his household. See, here's the deal. The presence of God goes where it's welcomed. It goes where it's welcomed. God, I welcome you here. And I hit the doors here this morning. I hit my feet in my house. God, I welcome you in my house. I welcome you in my marriage. I welcome you in my relationships. I welcome you in this building. I welcome you, God. Come with your presence. One more little verse and we're done. See, the ark was a symbol of a present God, and His presence is meant to be the life and the joy of all of us And the revelation is meant to be for our good, giving us strength and peace and righteousness. And then we get to these verses and we're done. King David was told, okay, so the ark is at this house for 3 months. And King David was told, the Lord has blessed the household of Obed-Edom and everything he has because of the ark. So David goes down and he brings the ark up from the house of Obed-Edom to the city of David with rejoicing. And when those who are carrying the ark of the Lord, watch this, Renee, okay, we're going to go get it. They get their pole. They do it right this time. They stick their pole through the loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anybody dead? Okay, and right there after 6 steps, we better worship now. Worship. 6 steps. Worship. Listen, do you get it? I wake up. I worship. I drink a cup of coffee. I worship. He's trying to show you my presence every step. Every breath you take is a reason to celebrate and to worship and to bless Him. Do you get it? That's how you live in the presence of God. And for some of us, it's like this 180 thing we got to do. And it's going to take a long time for us to change from being this Sunday guy or a Christmas Easter person or whatever. It's like, no, every step of the way. Stop. Okay. Renee, stop. Okay. Catch up, God. Okay, I'm going to worship you. Catch up, I want to worship you. He wants to be, His name is, we're coming into the Christmas season, Emmanuel, which means, listen to this, even His name, God with us. Wow, everything is about His presence. If you keep reading, read the rest of this today, because we can just stop. So he finally, after every 6 steps or whatever, he finally gets back to the city. And by the time he's getting there now, he's like it's just, the presence of God has just overtaken him. He's singing and dancing, and they're playing their instruments like the band today. I mean, it's just this, have you ever seen Gary sometimes playing and just tears rolling down his face? I mean, he could just be playing and lost and just, he's worshiping with this instrument. That was what's going on. They're worshiping. There's tambourines. They're celebrating the presence of God. And remember, David had a wife who was Saul's daughter named Michal. Okay? So he's dancing and he's got all of his clothes, and by the time it's over with, he's going, wow, I can't dance in this. And he's taking stuff off, and now he's kind of down to, his boxers or whatever. And so Michal's looking out of the window and she goes, what are you doing? I mean, she's disgusted. And she goes, how dare you? What are you doing like that? And he goes, you haven't seen anything yet. I'm just paraphrasing that. He's like, I am going to give the rest of my life to worship. And she got after it, and she would not worship. And then one of the most frightening verses in the Bible, and it said, and she was barren the rest of her days. Listen, a life without worship, a heart that doesn't worship, is barren. Listen, I better learn. I better learn how. I better practice. The only way you learn is practice, like Casey with his mandolin. He just didn't pick it up one day and do what he did just now. I mean, it's like hours where his fingers are bloody, and he plays and they bleed, and he gets the super glue and he puts it on there and lets it dry to make some new skin, and he's back playing again. And just practice. You've done that, right? Yeah, sure you have. It's just like over and over and over and over, and that's how we learn how to worship. Over and over and over and over, every 6 steps. Okay, God, I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I worship you. Thank you for your presence in my life. Thank you that your presence is in my home and in my marriage and in my job and all of this. Does that make sense? Listen, that's how I have to live. I have to live that way, because the truth is, I've tried it the other way and it don't work. That's my Cheatham County thing there. It don't work. Seriously. God is crazy in love with you. He has been after you from the foundation of the world. Before God said, let there be light, the Bible talked about that you were already in His heart. Isn't that incredible? That blows my mind. How else do I know that? Because it also says that before the foundation of the world, listen to this. Try to get your mind around this. Before the foundation of the world, a lamb was slain. What? See, the covenant was already taken care of before God goes, okay, light. It was already done. He's been chasing you since then. He's been chasing you since you were just an idea in His heart. Oh, I'm after you. I'm going to love you. I want to bless you. I want my presence all over you. God was saying that about you however many years ago that was. Isn't that amazing? I don't know about you. I got to have that. My heart beats for that. For the presence of God in that way. Okay? So what are you going to do? I mean, you got a choice to make. Today. See, not to decide is to decide. I mean, you got a choice to make today. Renee, I don't mean to pick on you. You got a choice today. Are you going to stop? And are you going to start living 6 steps at a time? Yeah, I mean, that's your choice. You got to make that choice. Now, in the Baptist church, this is called an invitation. Here's all that means. It's just this fancy word to go, in a minute, we're going to stand up.